Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about one of the most, if not the most important aspect of basic financial literacy, and that is budgeting, creating and sticking to a monthly budget. Now, one of the biggest common misconceptions with budgeting is that when you're on a budget, you can't spend money, you can't have fun, you can't go out, and that's not the case. Being on a budget just means that you're in control of your money. You have your money assigned to a responsibility and to a role, and you know exactly where your money is going each and every month. Budgeting is one of the most powerful tools that you can use to gain financial freedom and build wealth for generations to come. So let's look at the basics. What is a budget? A budget is basically a plan for your money. It tells you where you want your money to go versus wondering where it went at the end of the month. Budgeting is really just a tracker. It tracks how much money you made, how much money you spent, and how much money you can save. And it also just makes sure all these three things are aligned with your personal financial goals. Like I said earlier, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life or spend money. It just means that you are prioritizing where your money is going and knowing how much money you have left to spend, to have fun, to go out and do what you want to do. It just means you're being intentional with your money and your planning. So why is budgeting so important? Budgeting matters firstly because it gives you control. Without a budget, it's easy to overspend and not think about money going out versus money coming in. When you don't have a budget, your money controls you, your impulses control you, and you can just swipe your card freely without even thinking about it and realizing that you have overdraft fees and you're overspending more than what you're bringing in. A budget just puts you back in charge of your money. Secondly, it reduces stress. Money is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, life stressors in adults today. When you know where your money is going and you have a plan for it, it helps eliminate some of that stress that you have. And thirdly, it can help you reach your goals faster. When you have a plan, when you have a roadmap for where you want your money to go, whether it's paying off debt, saving for a house, or saving up for an expensive trip, creating a budget just creates a clearer path to that goal. And lastly, it just helps build discipline as well. Budgeting teaches you to prioritize your needs over your wants. And once you're able to prioritize your needs over your wants, this helps build financial freedom and long-term financial success. Let's look at the simple structure of how a budget is built. Common method for tracking what you're spending is breaking it down into three different categories: needs, wants, and savings and debt. So needs are stuff you must pay. It's like your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, things of that nature, to include food and transportation. Wants are things you necessarily do not need, but it's nice to have to be able to enjoy the money that you have earned. And these include eating out, entertainment, and just overall just having fun with your money. And then lastly, we have savings and debt. This includes your emergency fund, your investments, and paying off any debt that you may have. One popular rule for managing money and budgeting is the 50-30-20 rule. This means 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes towards your wants, and then 20% goes towards savings or debt. Now, this model isn't perfect for everyone, but it is an easy model to at least start off with and see how it works for you. So now that you know the basic principles of budgeting, how do you start a budget? There are 5 simple steps to starting a budget. Step 1 is knowing your income, knowing how much money you're bringing in every single month after taxes. Now, for some people, this will fluctuate. If you're an hourly worker, or you work on fixed hours, or you work on based on job, how many jobs you have that month, that's going to fluctuate your income. So throughout the month, it's important to go back to your budget and adjust your income based off how many hours you worked or how many jobs you did or completed, to ensure that you are tracking your income as accurately as possible. Tracking your income is going to be really easy for those that have a set salary and a set amount of hours every single week, that know exactly how much money and how many hours that they're working every week, every month. Step 2 is tracking what you spend. To look at a history and figure out your spending patterns, look at past bank statements and see what you're spending, how much money you're spending on it, and roughly when it comes out your account. And once you're able to track your spending, step 3 is categorizing the spending. And this is where you group it into needs, wants, and savings. Step 4 is setting limits for how much you want to spend in each category. Now, some things aren't going to be very flexible, such as like your rent or mortgage, your car payments. If you already have these things, it's not really negotiable. But maybe you can budget a little bit more when it comes to groceries or dining out, certain things that you have control over, to how much you can spend. And then step 5, probably the most important aspect, is adjusting to it accordingly and sticking to the budget. Now, don't worry if it doesn't pan out the first time or it's not perfect the first time or the first few times. It takes a little while with being consistent and being diligent and sticking to it to perfect the budget. And it's all about just adjusting as you go, adjusting as needed based on your needs, your wants, your savings, your debt, and how much money you're bringing in. And there are thousands of different ways to track a budget. You can have a manual written budget. There are Excel spreadsheets and templates out there. I know Google Docs has them as well. And there are numerous amounts of apps and resources online to use their budgeting tools to help you. Find out what works for you and what method works for your budgeting habits. And the most important thing is just sticking with it and being consistent. Before we wrap it up here, let's look at some common mistakes to avoid when sticking to a monthly budget. Number one is being too strict. You've earned your money. If your budget is too unrealistic, you're not gonna wanna stick to it. So if you're just prioritizing all your needs and that's it, and leaving no room for fun, you're not gonna wanna stick to that budget. But it's also important to realize that you are prioritizing and being mature about your spending. It's good to have fun, just make sure you're being responsible with your money about having fun and sticking within your financial means. Secondly is not tracking it regularly. Especially for those people whose income fluctuates from week to week, month to month, it's important to go back to the budget and adjust accordingly. The budget only works if you follow it. There's no point of having a plan if you don't stick to it. So throughout the month, adjust accordingly and make sure you're going back to your budget as a reference for your financial budget. Another mistake to avoid is forgetting irregular expenses. This includes like car repairs, house repairs, things that just go wrong randomly. And this can even include like birthdays and holidays like Christmas. But things like car repairs and other different type of emergencies, I recommend having an emergency fund. And this is strictly for when unforeseen circumstances pop up, like a car repair, like a home repair, something that is out there that you did not plan for. When it comes to like holidays and birthdays, you know these things come up every single year. So plan accordingly throughout the year, especially for something like Christmas. You can start in January and start saving all the way until December, and then you not have to worry about it. Another mistake to avoid is giving up too early. You're gonna get frustrated. It's not gonna be perfect. Budgeting is a habit. You have to stay consistent and keep doing it. It's not a one-time fix. It's just a tool to help you prioritize where your money is going and realize where you need to adjust accordingly. Look, at the end of the day, if you don't get anything else from this, I want you to know that budgeting isn't about restrictions. It's about financial freedom. It gives you the ability to spend confidently, save intentionally, and build the life that you actually want to live. If you found this video helpful, make sure to comment down below, hit that like button and subscribe for me, and share this with somebody that needs to get control of their money as well. And remember, don't just make money, make a plan for your money that leads you to financial freedom. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.